Right, so I've got a list of 12 habits for you that I've been practicing every single day. 12 laws of confidence, we'll call them. Things that I've been using to stay accountable, to sharpen up my social skills, and just stay my most confident self. I promise you that if you start practicing these, if you try and check off as many of these as you can every single day, you will become dangerously confident in any situation. So I'm not going to waste time, I'll just get straight into the list. Number one, the first law is to talk to someone you don't know every single day. Now, I can say right off the bat that this is the thing that will grow your comfort zone more consistently than anything else you can do. It's also kind of a pain in the ass having to do it every single day. Like, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice right now. I'm kind of sick. I'd like nothing more than to just stay put in my room all day, but I know that eventually I'm going to have to go out just to get my daily reps in. But this is a brilliant exercise in showing you that the world is actually a lot more friendly than you think. I feel like, especially in the UK, everyone is kind of walking around looking so seriously. Like, low-key, everyone kind of has resting bitch face. And you kind of just assume people are judging you, when really that's just kind of this. I don't know if this is just like the lasting effects of COVID and people are kind of antisocial, or they're walking around with headphones in, they're just kind of in their own worlds. You would think that people just aren't willing to have a chat, but really it is the complete opposite. People are like looking to make those connections. They just most of the time don't want to go first. There are certain contexts that I leverage to get my daily reps in. Like, I do try and chat to someone new whilst I'm making coffee at work, or I do speak to some new people at the gym where we have that shared interest to bond over. But if I haven't got my daily reps in and it's getting kind of late, I will like happily and confidently just go over to a stranger and give them a compliment. Like, it can be something as simple as that. It does not have to be some really high stakes thing. It could just be like a 5-10 second interaction. I tell them something I like about them. That's as far as it has to go, but it still has the effect of growing that comfort zone. Like, honestly, I've noticed such a significant reduction in my general levels of anxiety. Like, I just feel a lot more comfortable in social environments, like going into places where I don't know a lot of people, because I don't automatically assume everyone's judging me. So this is one of the most important takeaways from the video. Just start practicing talking to people you don't know. Try and set yourself that target of talking to at least one new person every day. Your life will change. So the second law is try to speak up at least once in every single meeting or group discussion. Now, this is something that I always fall victim to because I'm more of like an introverted kind of guy. I let the louder voices just talk over me, like the more extroverted people who are almost trying to dominate the conversation or have everyone's attention on them. And that almost makes me go into my shell a little bit more. I'll start to really overthink what I'm going to say. Um, Often to the point where I just don't say anything at all. I just stay silent the whole time. But what I kind of learned, especially since I started this new job, it's that like, even when your thoughts are kind of like a bit jumbled up, or you don't have that clear of an idea about what you're gonna say in advance, your raw thoughts are still valuable. Like, you talking and saying anything is still contributing. It doesn't have to be like the most smart and well put together perfect thing. That is still like a valuable contribution. People will still see that as you being present and you voicing an opinion. Really, you shouldn't have to second guess yourself every time you open your mouth. Like, try to get used to just sharing those raw thoughts, like not filtering so much or worrying whether people will find it dumb. Like, your contribution in itself is valuable. You saying anything is valuable. That's what I want you to get into your head. So the third law is say your opinion even when it's not popular. Some of these are kind of self-explanatory. I'm not going to go into like crazy depth for each of them. But don't just be a fucking bot NPC. Don't just follow the crowd. Take your time to like cultivate your own set of opinions. Don't just parrot what other people are saying. Like, be a fucking individual. So the fourth law is get used to asking for what you want directly without feeling the need to over explain yourself or apologize. So I could say a lot about this one. Like, this is a very deep topic, but so many people, when they're asking for something, when they're asking for help, or they're just requesting something of someone else, they will like shoot themselves in the foot before they've even finished the sentence. They will weaken their own position by adding all of this unnecessary stuff to the beginning of the sentence, like all of this apologetic stuff. Like, sorry, I know you're probably really busy, but do you think you can help me? Or I was wondering if maybe you could help me with this. It's like all of this unnecessary fluff that is signaling to the other person that you are doubting the things you say. We say these things because we have the belief that fucking mic just turned off. What we're asking of the other person is somehow unreasonable, or they're gonna say no. It's like this like weirdly submissive behavior that we've conditioned ourselves into. The fact of the matter is, like, you are perfectly within your rights to ask someone a question. Whether they say yes or no is completely up to them. But if you're gonna ask the question anyway, you might as well be clear and direct about what you want and not like add on all this filler stuff. Like, don't apologize for existing. Just ask them the question. You know, we can still be polite, we can still say please and thank you, but we want to work on eliminating anything that's going to soften our requests. Like, never apologize in advance of what you're going to ask. Like, it's just a bitch move. So the fifth law is to pause before you speak instead of rushing to fill the silence. So again, this is a topic that I've literally talked about so much on this channel. Like, it's an interesting topic for me. So many people have this perception about silence. They attach all this meaning to it, that any silence just means an awkward silence. That silence in itself is inherently awkward, even though silence is just completely neutral. Silence is silence. It's us that makes it awkward. And to kind of get over that perceived awkwardness, people will make themselves look stupid by rushing out as many words as possible, saying things that don't even make sense, like just having complete and utter verbal diarrhea, instead of just like taking a perfectly acceptable 5 to 10 second pause to actually figure out what they want to say, to process the words in their head and say something that is actually appropriate. I like to use the example of like a CEO or some kind of negotiator. When he's sitting there in silence, the other party is not like thinking, oh, this guy's really fucking awkward. Why is he being so quiet? They're aware that he's like got loads going on in his brain, that he's thinking very carefully about the situation. He's preparing his words carefully before he delivers them. So why can't we ditch this brain rot idea that all silence is somehow awkward? Like, practice just pausing for a moment and thinking about what you've got to say. So number six is to say no to something that you actually don't want to do, to impose a boundary. Now, again, this is a really deep topic. I think I might make a whole video about this in future. But basically, a really, really common nice guy response or people-pleasing behavior is when someone asks you to do something that you really don't want to do, you end up doing it anyway because of what you think it will mean for you in future. You think that if I agree to do this thing that I really don't want to do for this person, you kind of believe that you're doing them a solid, and in turn that they're eventually going to repay the favor, or this will be the last time they ask you to do this thing. In your head, it's kind of this unspoken social contract that you have with the other person. You think, okay, if they've asked me to do this, you know, they're not going to expect anything else in future. This is the last time. When really it's actually kind of signaling the opposite to this person. They start to view you as someone who will consistently put their needs over your own. And they'll actually keep coming back. They'll keep asking for more and more and more. And every time it happens, you're like super fucking annoyed on the inside. You actually start resenting this person because you think they're the source of all your problems. Like, you think you're the victim in this situation. But really, that's actually kind of stupid because you're basing this on some like mental agreement that you come up with. And the only reason that they're asking more and more of you is because you didn't impose that boundary in the first place, because you didn't say no to that thing that you originally didn't want to do. Like, a lot of people don't realize that this is a problem that will only get worse until you learn to impose that boundary, until you become adept at saying no. So even though it's uncomfortable, this is something that I've just really, really tried hard to get used to. It does take some real practice, but it will honestly like save you a lot of stress. So law number 7 is to hold eye contact for at least 2 or 3 seconds before looking away. Don't just be one of these like cunts who just is addicted to looking at the floor. Like, it gives off a horrible first impression. Just look people in the eye. Like, don't do it for an uncomfortable amount of time, but just be like a normal human. Number 8 is speak at a calm, slightly slower pace. Again, instead of rushing out your words. That relates to the point about pausing to think about what you're saying. But just slow the fuck down. It honestly, I need to remind myself to do this now. I need to slow it down. But it will honestly just relax you a lot more. Like, it relieves a lot of the tension in conversations. Number 9 is to get used to taking up more space in your environment. Like, I know body language is a topic which has been done to death on YouTube, and like people kind of give stupid advice. But if there's like one really constructive piece of advice I can give you, it's just like, don't be a fucking nerd. Like, don't be all hunched over. Like, you're sub-communicating to everyone that you're not confident on the inside, that you don't deserve to be here. So you're like occupying as little space as possible. When you're on public transport, I don't want to hear about all this manspreading stuff. Like, use up the space that you have. Like, stretch out, have your shoulders back. Like, I was going to say be a fucking man. I don't want to get cancelled here, but just like occupy your space. Don't act like you don't deserve to be here. Like, claim the space that you're entitled to. Number 10 is to accept compliments without deflecting them. If someone has taken the time to think of a genuine, sincere compliment or bit of praise to give you, why would you undermine that by downplaying the compliment? By saying like, oh, like, no, I'm humble. Like, you don't have to say that. Or like, what a really annoying thing that people will do is someone will give them a compliment, and they'll just say the same thing back. Like, they'll be like, oh, I'm trying to get like you, big guy. Like, it's not that serious at the end of the day, but it's like, you're not egotistical for just taking a compliment at face value. Like, it's a nice thing. And I think by like doing that thing where you deflect other people's compliments back on them, it kind of devalues what they said, because this person's actually taken time to think of this nice thing to say about you, and you're just kind of like recycling it. This one probably isn't that serious at the end of the day, but it just kind of gets on my nerves a little bit when I see people do it. Number 11 is to volunteer to go first or to lead something. So whenever I was at university, and to an extent at work, when we've had to do a presentation and it's like, everyone's going to have to do it at some point. When the teacher asks who's going to go first, my hand would always shoot up in the air. Like, I'd be the first person with my hand up. I'd always want to go first. And there's a few reasons for that. The first is that I know myself, and I know that the longer I leave things, the more my anxiety builds up. I'd really rather not be the person going last, because just seeing other people presenting, that kind of freaks me out. I'd really just much rather get it out of the way first. And the other reason is because I know just how much glory the person who's willing to go first gets from the rest of the room. Like, you will get that respect for being the guy who goes first when no one else wants to. The reason no one wants to go first on a level is because they're terrified of making a mistake. They're terrified of being that like benchmark for everyone else to compare themselves to. Like, people can watch you make mistakes and then learn what not to do. And that is kind of a scary thing. But what you're also signaling is that you just don't care, that you really are just embracing imperfection, that you're confident enough to give it a go, even when you're not feeling confident on the inside. Honestly, I don't really know what else to say. It's like, the person who is willing to go first is kind of, they're breaking the ice. Like, they're diffusing the tension in the room for everyone else. And this doesn't just apply to like presentations and things like that. It just applies to social situations in general, like introductions and stuff. Everyone feels a lot better when the confident guy can do all the legwork and like introduce everyone to each other. So just keep that in mind. Like, when you're having second thoughts about going first, there are some really positive side effects of doing that. And the final law number 12, we'll call this kind of a bonus. Although actually it probably is like the most important one. It's every single day of your life, seek out some form of social discomfort. We want to chase down the thing that makes us scared every single day. And we want to do it. Like, unless it's something illegal or like kind of dangerous, anything that kind of provokes that fear response out of you, anything that gives you that little twinge of anxiety, it's honestly best to just act on it, because these are the opportunities that we get to make the most progress, like rapidly, rather than like small bits at a time. It's like you can make a big leap by tackling the thing that really scares you. It's like rapid desensitization to fear. Which probably doesn't make sense without an example, but like I've talked a lot on this channel about how I was really scared of like doing cold approach and talking to girls I didn't know. I've probably done like 100 to 150 approaches now. It still scares me each time, but like what I really noticed is this thing that it's this idea that I've called the afterglow effect, where like after you do something really scary, things in your life that are also scary, but maybe you wouldn't deem them as like challenging as talking to a girl or something, they just don't rattle you anymore. They just don't cause you any fear or difficulty. It's like you have this like newfound confidence and comfort when doing all those like more minor things that used to scare you. So have a think about what that would be for you, whether it is like something like talking to girls. I think if you're a guy, that would be like quite a scary thing for most people. But it could also be something like public speaking. Just chase down that fear if you want to truly become confident. So that is all from me. Let me know what your favorite law or habit was down in the comment section. I honestly think these can really, really help you in your confidence journey. So yeah, I appreciate you, man. I'll see you in the next one.